This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Okay, so there's a lot swirling around Dipset right now, and people need to let go. This is never going to be cool again. This has been over since 2007. The only time you see these guys getting together right now is over business, okay? Camron, Juelz, I'll say this very clearly. Everybody had their part. Jim and Cam and Freaky Zeke are the most important people in Dipset. Without those three, Dipset isn't Dipset, right? That's the foundation. Then you add in Juelz later with his talent. And then after that, you had a lot of underlings. J.R. Ryder, 40 Cal, Hellrell, Shice Bubs, Uncasa, and then people branched off and did their own stuff. The best thing about Dipset is that Camron, being the leader and being the boss and the brand, okay, he's the breakout artist. He wasn't selfish. He let everybody have their own stuff. He wanted everybody to eat. All you had to do was pay homage to Dipset and the main and the bird sign, the Dipset sign, right? So say Shice Bubs or 40 Cal or somebody wanted to do a deal with like Baby Grand or Koch, right? And they wanted to use the Dipset logo. You just had to pay a fee to use the logo. That's what Camron wanted. Because think about it. Flying these guys around and having them around and building up their brand in the beginning probably cost money. It probably cost Camron money, right? Flying them out. Even if it was out of a budget or whatever, it still cost him money indirectly. So that was his way of getting his just due, right? Nothing wrong with that. Well, Jim started taking offense. Okay, so Camron had a deal with Sony. Didn't work out so well with entertainment. 2 albums gone, right? Then Dame Dash, another key part of Dipset, took Camron on, and Camron dropped Oh Boy. Who'd he put on the first single? Juelz Santana, right? And Juelz Santana was on, I think, the first 2 singles. He was on Hey Ma, too. And that really branded Juelz. Jim Jones is on the first album. Freaky Zeke's there. Everyone's getting branded. And they have a lot of people with them. They're bringing everyone with them in Harlem. So everybody's doing their own thing, right? It's like a movement to not to be messed with. Everybody's on doing DVDs. This is the DVD era where we got, the come up, everything. So if you can't get Camron, Jim Jones, or Juelz, you're going to get J.R. Ryder, Hellrell, so everybody's doing their thing and repping Dipset. Camron, if he couldn't get you a deal at Roc-A-Fella or whatever, then you go somewhere else, right? Camron also, Dame Dash allowed Camron to have Diplomat albums where he could put everybody from, Uncasa, 40 Cal, everybody on these Duke the God Diplomat albums that came out through Koch. He let Jim Jones go and do a deal with Koch without stopping him. He didn't control him. A lot of artists don't like anybody to outshine them. So they don't let them put out stuff while they're putting out stuff. Camron's putting out stuff. He got Juelz a deal at Def Jam because Roc-A-Fella wouldn't sign him, right? And let him shine. But these guys will act like they stopped their careers, right? Like Jim Jones will have gripes like, oh, Camron tried to slow me up. So I had to break off and do my own thing and do Bird Gang. Now, you break off and do your own thing, but don't talk with Cam. Cam was petty, super petty back then. He copywrote Bird Gang. Because Bird Gang was stamped under Dipset. Remember they used to go Dipset Bird Gang, right? So, Camron got ahead of it, and he felt away. So he copywrote it, and so Jim Jones had to ask him for permission to use it. Jim Jones eventually got a deal at Sony, and was trying to, and then did artists really dirty. Okay, he didn't do what Camron did and let people do their own thing. He held Max B back. He held Stack Bundles back. He held Mall Matrix back. He helped Jaja back. They were supposed to work for him in the sweatshop making Jim Jones music. And he dropped like 3 or 4 albums, okay, using them. And, you know, in the process, Stack Bundles was killed. Max B was locked up because Max B left, beef with Jim Jones, and then got locked up because he left because he had this case and he had to start generating money. Jim Jones wasn't really giving him any money. Jim Jones wasn't giving Stack a lot of money, so he was kind of like stuck doing the same thing. Jaja wasn't getting any money, so she ended up locked up, trying to do what she got to do. Juelz Santana broke off, tried to do Skull Gang. He wasn't putting out music because he was on Def Jam, wasn't working with Cam to get a release from Def Jam because they were at odds, because around this time is when the Camron and 50 Cent beef happened. And around this time, Ballin' had dropped. Camron was feeling himself. So Ballin' had dropped and Jim Jones was feeling himself. So he didn't rock with Camron on the beef with 50 Cent. He felt like that was stopping his career. He was like, I'm not going to let 50 Cent stop. 50 Cent was known for stopping careers back then. He didn't want a beef with 50 Cent to stop his career. So he chose to side with 50 Cent instead of being neutral. That wasn't a good idea. Even though he was at odds with Camron, he should have just stayed out of it. Shouldn't have gone on Rap City and showed up to shows with 50 Cent and showed his loyalty. That people don't like stuff like that. I don't like stuff like that. What are you, a bitter girlfriend trying to get with the ops? That's what Jim Jones act like. He act like a salty girlfriend trying to get with the ops. I'll show you. Even though Jim Jones is legendary, and he's probably one of the best rappers at a Dipset right now, let's be honest. Camron once sued Jim Jones for using the bird logo without paying for it. That's a fact. So anyways, around this time, Juelz doesn't put out any albums, and he lets his own career die by trying to get off the ground with Skull Gang, which really only had like 2 decent rappers in it, let's be honest, you know. They know who they are, you know. And it just wasn't a good idea because Juelz he was just dying out and cold, you know. He wasn't hot enough to launch another rappers and then the other rappers. Then he ended up getting his studio raided and everything kind of fell apart. He made bad moves. And then he was beefing with Camron at that time because Camron was talking about his lean addiction. He had an addiction to lean because of Lil Wayne. He had an addiction. That's why his jibs are all messed up now. And Jim Jones was just sitting around watching it. He didn't say nothing. It's crazy, bro. The crews usually fall apart at one point because everybody gets an ego and they're like, I don't need him anymore. They want to break away from the nest. Happened with G-Unit too. Okay, it's not just Dipset. It's happened with G-Unit as well. Lloyd Banks wanted to break off. Young Buck eventually broke off. Game broke off. But the core members also broke off. The only person that kind of stayed down was Tony Yayo. He had a little problem with 50 Cent at one point, but nothing crazy. This stuff happens. And now today, people are trying to rewrite history like Camron held back Juelz and tried to hold back Jim Jones. That's not the case. He's actually very fair. But if you felt like they were going forward without talking to him, it's like he kind of like put a block to that in a way where they had to talk to him. Jim Jones is coming out now trying to say he really was from Harlem and he was born in Harlem, which is a lie, and there's just a lot of nonsense going on here. I feel bad for Juelz because he's so far gone at this point where he hasn't really dropped. He's dropped things, but like nothing crazy for a long, nothing memorable. I don't even know if he could come back at this point. I wish he could. But he doesn't have the right people around him. He has a bunch of yes men around him. Nobody's telling him the truth. And he's sitting on a bunch of music and videos now, like with Rick Ross and everybody, that he just never dropped because he's scared to drop it. Drop it, bro. Drop it. It's crazy. At least Jim Jones is trying. Now he's on this new remix with Jim Jones for the Harlem song, which is really just stealing Cash Cobain's song and remixing it. Vado's on it, right? Vado, Camron's old artist. Because remember, Camron kind of tried to like break off and do some new stuff. I don't even know, bro. We'll see how this tracks. This is Still Harlem. Did they release the first song? This is Still Harlem. Let me see. I mean, the Harlem thing isn't even doing that well. The Harlem song, it's been out for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it's only done like 191,000 streams. That's like nothing compared to what Jim Jones used to do. Nothing. What's the last Jim Jones album he put out? 2023, 12 Days of Christmas? Nothing. Bro, Jim Jones might be done, bro. And it's sad to say, man, because that would be the end of an era. Jim Jones presents Bird Gang 2.0. Nothing. No streams. Nothing over 100,000. The last Jim Jones album he put out was right in the beginning of the shutdown. And that was a good album. Lobby Boys. Lobby Boys is trash, bro. That ain't do nothing either. Damn. Nobody wants to hear Mano rapping right now. Let's be honest, okay? I'd rather hear just Jim Jones by himself. I like Jim Jones raps, don't get me wrong. All right, so the last album he came out with that was really good is this album right here, El Capo, right? He dropped a deluxe to that. Okay, El Capo dropped in 2019, actually. And this was good. He had a song called NYC with Fat Joe, State of the Union. That did 10 million. That was a good song. He had a bunch of good songs on here, and they did okay. It wasn't crazy, but it was good. Anyways, Jim Jones is doing this to try to juice up with the music, and we'll see what happens. But I don't think a remix is going to save this. I don't think a song adding Juelz Santana, Vado, Dave East to this is going to save it. You know who would have made it better? Max B, Camron. You know, if Jim Jones really wants to come back, he should have put Max B on this song, right? Max B could record it. He did a feature with Camron in the past couple of years. Bury the Hatchet with Max B, put him on it. Put Camron on it. Camron will still jump on it. If you bury the hatchet with Camron, he'll jump on it. And who else? I don't know. You got to make it feel like back in the day, you know? So I would reach out to like 40 cal. You got to make it feel good. Even put Uncasa on it. Like put out a real remix. And make it feel good. But I don't think this stuff will ever come back because everybody's kind of in their own ego. A lot of people are better at Camron because he's winning. Juelz threw his career away in a way. And I hate to say that because I'm a big fan, you know. Even though we work together, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Jim Jones' stuff. I don't like to see him 50 years old bickering with Camron instead of like doing something else. You know what? Jim Jones is just better, man. He's had Saucy, Vamp glasses, Vamp drinks, Vamp wear. None of it really took off. Studios. I think he just feels like he can't catch a win. He needs to check his ego. Stop trying to be so gangster. Anyways, man. Sorry, someone brought this topic up to me, and I was like, let me elaborate on this. That Camron never stopped anybody's career. If anything, he added to their career and helped it flourish. But if you went behind his back and tried to step on him, he shut that down. In a petty way. Not and he always says I wasn't a gentleman about it. I should have been more of a gentleman. I'm not a gentleman. A grown up about it, and had the talk. But that's not Camron style. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Smash that like button. I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.